check the grind, got the hustle on full blast. Flipping through the market like I'm living in the fast lane. I ain't playing nice, now I'm cashing in so fast. Watch me stack these digits while they still pray for last gains. Talking trash, we building stacks like a mansion. Taking risks like it's a game, but we demand an expansion. Made a couple moves, now they call me a madman. But I ain't settling, I'm playing the market like a bad plan. All in, all in. We talk that talk, walk that walk, you know the name. Money in the air like it's all a game. We hit big plays while they sitting on the bench. Watch us run it up, leave them in the trench. We talk that talk, now we make that bread. While they playing small, we stay 2 steps ahead. We talk that talk, flexing all the way to the top. Made it from the bottom and we never gonna stop. They said I fall off, yeah, they wishing for my end. But I'm laughing at the dip, cause I'm cashing in again. Bought the blood in the streets like I'm a goddamn vampire. Now I'm counting all the green and I'm never gonna tire. Haters talking sideways, but I keep it moving fast. Flipping options, causing puts, man, that profit's gonna last. I don't need no validation, watch me make the play. They wishing for my downfall, but I'm leading the way. Let them watch, let them watch. We talk that talk, walk that walk, you know the name. Money in the air like it's all a game. We hit big plays while they sitting on the bench. Watch us run it up, leave them in the trench. We talk that talk, now we make that bread. While they playing small, we stay 2 steps ahead. We talk that talk, flexing all the way to the top. Made it from the bottom and we never gonna stop. Yo, I make moves like chess pieces. Big boy plays with the prices. Flip it, dip it, watch me rise. Got them looking back, wishing they had my eyes. I don't follow trends that I started, man. Talking big on the grind, y'all can understand. Not a rain for a grain, send it with up in a dance. Head up with a river brand, trying to rebuild the game. While they stuck on the sidelines, still playing lame. Real flip, flop to the top. We talk that talk, walk that walk, you know the name. Money in the air like it's all a game. We hit big plays while they sitting on the bench. Watch us run it up, leave them in the trench. We talk that talk, now we make that bread. While they playing small, we stay 2 steps ahead. We talk that talk, flexing all the way to the top. Made it from the bottom and we never gonna stop. Never gonna stop. Never gonna stop.
Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I'm Matt, your Kohrs, and together we are the show. And for those of you keeping score at home, I still have nasal congestion, which is successfully dropping my vocal output a couple octaves. So that's the life that I'm currently living, and I hope yours is a little bit better. I ended up taking an entire fistful of NyQuil last night to go to bed, and then I woke up and I kind of like spoiled the Netflix show for myself because there was like a really important character and I don't want to spoil it for anyone else, so that's why I'm being a little bit vague. But basically, I took all this NyQuil, I was watching the show, I passed out, and I came to, boom, character dead. So I missed the entire lead up, didn't know how or what happened, and I just came to, and I was like, oh. So NyQuil kind of spoiled the show for me. So that's kind of where my life is currently at. But I hope yours is on a better path. It is a beautiful Thursday, February the 27th. If you haven't already, tell your mom you love her. But we have a lot of other things to get into. This morning, we got initial jobless claims. We got a GDP report. Things were seemingly good, especially on the heels of Nvidia, which, some people had issues with Nvidia's gross margin, but really across the board, it was a beat. And things were looking kind of good. And then bada bing, bada boom. President Trump turned into President Dump. And before you knew it, markets getting daggered a couple minutes ago. And it's all because of tariff talk, trade war, tariff war. Tariffs that turned into a drug war that are now clearly back to a trade war, apparently going into effect on March 4th. So we're talking early next week. So we have a lot of things to chit chat about. So not only will we be recovering Nvidia's earnings from last night, which everyone was on the edge of the seat for, and if you look at Nvidia's movements early in the morning, basically call buyers and put buyers got completely destroyed. We did not hit the expected move, so basically anyone long premium got absolutely murked. And then we have to go over the news from this morning. Then we have to go over some of the breaking news from a couple minutes ago. We do have some political drama. I have a kind of a specialty update on Amazon. They have something cool that they just launched. Then we're we're going to go over all the key levels to pay attention to today. Then the market's going to open. Then we're going to break one way or the other. Then we're going to have a perfect A-plus setup. And then we're going to all make a shitload of money. We're going to be done by 11, and we're going to go enjoy the rest of our day. So that's pretty much the plans for the day. I hope that all sounds good to you. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I know it's very annoying to remind you all, but it really does help get this show, this channel promoted to other people. So whether you're watching on Rumble or on YouTube, every time you guys come in here, I truly do appreciate it when you say hi in chat, when you smash that like button. And if you are subscribed, I hope I can earn your subscription today if I haven't already. But don't forget to turn your notifications on to all. There's a little bell icon. Click on that and make sure it is on all so you don't miss any of the surprise things coming down the pipeline. And with that being said, here is a look at the scene. Post-market, pre-market, looking pretty decent on the SPY and the Qs. We are still technically in the green territory, up about 0.3% on the SPY, up about 0.6% on the Qs. As you can see, Nvidia's up 1.9, but the expected move was just over 8%. Some people were clocking it in at 10%. So this is the current situation. You could see not that many minutes ago. Let me switch over on this one. You could see right at 8:46, the market just got murked. And that's because of some tariff talk, which obviously we're going to be getting into. But before we get into all of that right here, Dow futures turn negative after Trump tariffs go into effect. But anyway, stock futures tick higher after S&P 500 snaps a 4-day losing streak. Nvidia rises after earnings, not as much as many people thought it would. Dow futures turn negative. Okay, so we do have some other political drama to get into. Apparently tomorrow, the U.S. is going to release the Epstein flight logs and client list. So that is going to be another whole host of drama. So get on the edge of your seat for that one. And right away, dude, the memes, the jokes, the things that are coming out from this, absolutely hilarious. Island boys, we have Clinton, we have Gates. We are clearly going to find out that they are, in fact, the Island boys. But this was from Fox just last night.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
Friday.
What kind? Are
the
we
28th, tomorrow.
On the flights?
Get ready.
Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his
Wait,
homes
Fuzzy, you're saying
wired
it's
with
coming out
recording
today?
devices.
I thought everything
What
I'm
you're
reading
gonna
is saying for
see,
Friday.
Hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
We all
along
know
with
it's
his
sick. We
co-defendant.
also all
absolutely.
know
And
he
had
didn't
help.
kill himself.
That's for
He
sure.
sure
It
did.
is Thursday. It is today. So yesterday's tomorrow is today. Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I guess this was
You
okay.
said last
So
week that-
I stand corrected. Apparently, some of this crazy story, this absolutely disgusting narrative, we're going to be getting that update today. So be on the edge of your seats even earlier. Taking a step back and kind of the geopolitical scene, U.S. and Russia meet in Turkey, an early step towards restoring ties. Now, I am pretty sure about this one, that tomorrow we're going to be getting the meeting between Trump and Zelensky signing over the mineral rights. And then also it sounds like in a separate event, we're going to have a conversation between the U.S. and Trump's team and Russia and Putin's team to see if we can really keep calming down those tensions. So that is definitely a step in the positive direction. Moving on to the market, the big news of the day came out at 8:30 this morning. We got the GDP report. That is this first highlighted line. As you can see, the estimate, the previous, and the actual all came in at 2.3%. Hunky dory. If you look at the initial jobless claims, the estimate was 222, came in at 242, slightly high. And then you could also see the continuing jobless claims estimate is actually a little bit higher than what we came in at. So that news at first, the market really didn't react to it. I saw the Nasdaq dropped a little bit. The SPY really didn't get impacted. You could also see durable goods came in way higher than expected. They were expecting 2%, came in at 3.1. So it was kind of neutral to slightly bullish news here, but then slightly bearish news here. So it was kind of a nothing burger. But then what happened at 8:45 is what really is already moving the market right here. You could see breaking from Trump, Mexico and Canada tariffs on March 4th. This came out at 8:46, got reported at 8:47. China to also be charged 10% tariff that date. So obviously we're still in this trade war between Mexico, Canada, and China. April 2nd, reciprocal tariff date remains in full force. So that's more of commentary on the EU, but also really kind of everyone. And then there was one other thing that I wanted to share with you. Schmid, expectation surveys are imperfect, but recent sharp rise means that Fed cannot let its guard down. So we're not getting a rate cut. Oh, right. What was it? This one. Senior Trump administration official, the U.S. wants reciprocal equal trade with the U.K. So this tariff talk is now effectively everyone. It is Canada. It is Mexico. It is China. It is the EU. It is the UK. It is everyone. So some of them we're going to get rocking with next week, March 4th. Other ones are going to be early April. So that's exactly what prompted this dagger at 8:46. You could see here at 8:30, slightly positive on the SPY, slightly negative on the NASDAQ. That was the GDP, initial jobless claims, and durable goods report. But you can see far more impactful was actually this tariff talk. So this came out right at 8:46. Once again, that is hot off the press news. Trump threatens to slap 25% tariff on EU, says Block, has always meant to hurt the U.S. So this was news as of yesterday. That's what caused the market to fall around 12:10, 12:15, 12:20. Obviously, we were setting up to have a pretty nice day. And then right here around 12:30, we really started to get knocked. And it was because of this news. And then people seemingly forgot about it. And then it got kind of doubled down this morning. And once again, that is why we are dropping. Of course, I'll be giving you all the key levels to pay attention to. But before we get to that, this is another part of the conversation related to tariffs. The reporter asking about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And this is from the president himself.
The spending bill that passed last night aims to cut $2 trillion.
Right.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question. Okay? This will not be read my lips. It won't be read my lips anymore. We're not going to touch it. Now, we are going to look for fraud. I'm sure you're okay with that, like people that shouldn't be on, people that are illegal aliens and others, criminals in many cases. And that's with Social Security. We have a lot of people. You see that immediately when you see people that are 200 years old that are being sent checks for Social Security. Some of them are actually being sent checks. So we're tracing that down, and I have a feeling that Pam is going to do a very good job with that. But you have a lot of fraud. But no, we're not doing anything on this.
So quintupling down on the fact that he's not going to arbitrarily cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. I see that rhetoric going around quite a bit on the interweb. So I just wanted to add not just my clarity, but literally you heard it from him himself. So only going after fraud in these three domains, not generically going after them. So when you consider what is going on in the entire economic landscape, what's going on with monetary policy, the Fed's in a tough spot. The Federal Reserve's favorite recession indicator is flashing a danger sign again, and it all relates to a particular yield curve. The 10-year Treasury yield passed below the 3-month note in Wednesday's trading. In market lingo, it's known as an inverted yield curve. So I want to clarify, most of the time when you hear about the yield curve, it's actually going to be the 10-year and the 2-year. That has not inverted. That is not below the zero line. This one, once again, is specifically referring to the 10-year and the 3-month. So what they're looking at, this isn't the most popular sign. Generally, when people are talking about the inverted yield curve, once again, you're taking the 2-year yield away from the 10-year. That's by far the most popular one when people are talking about the yield curve. But there are interesting statistics related to the 10-year and the 3-month. It's not a perfect indicator. There's no such thing as a perfect indicator. It's crossed before with no recession, but there are many times it's crossed, and not many months later, not many quarters later, we do enter into a recession. So I just wanted to share that, especially on the backdrop that we're going to have the next FOMC meeting in mid-March, I believe Wednesday, March the 19th. So that'll be interesting. But what's going to be more interesting is really what we have coming down the pike tomorrow. Right here, tomorrow. You could see PCE. So this is a major inflation report. You have the CPI report, the consumer price index, the PPI report, the producer price index, and then you have the PCE report, the personal consumption expenditure. According to Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, they weigh the PCE report the most. So this is the most impactful on their decisions. So this comes out tomorrow morning, an hour before the market opens. The expectation is 2.6% for the core PCE. That's the year over year reading. And then for the month over month, they're looking at 0.3. If this comes in hot, as in higher than expected, I'm expecting the SPX to drop to around 5,900. If it comes in cool, I'm actually expecting the market to recover and get on top of the EMA cloud. This will be a very, very, very impactful event, so please pay attention to it. It's going to be incredibly important. Just to give you guys a quick recap, because I know there's a lot of Nvidia supporters in here. Nvidia reported after the market closed yesterday, and it did a whole heck of a lot of nothing. Nvidia sees mixed outlook after 2 years of blowout results. So yes, we know Nvidia is the darling stock and it keeps ripping. But right here, tighter margins and tariff concerns overshadow the results. So two things to break apart there. I'm about to talk about margins, but before we get there, tariff concerns. We know 2 days ago, Trump was saying, hey, he's actually going to increase the curbs on Nvidia the same way that the Biden administration did. But regardless of that, the numbers were still very good. So the other potential negative thing you could pick out about Nvidia is right here. Nvidia's gross margins are expected to be 21% next quarter, a sharp decline from 74.5. So we see the gross margins just continuing to drop and drop and drop. Not so bueno. That is honestly the only negative thing I could possibly find in their earnings. The rest of it was very good. Nvidia sales grow 78% on AI demand. Company gives strong guidance. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, I believe is how you pronounce it. If I am butchering that, my sincerest apologies. I try to memorize it before. Jensen Huang. I believe it is pronounced Yuang. If I'm butchering that, once again, I'm very sorry. Says AI has to do 100 times more computation now than when ChatGPT was released. NVIDIA's auto segment revenue surges to record high on demand for driver assist tech. So I did do quite a bit of a deep dive personally into these numbers, and everything was good. Honestly, the only little mess up I could find was the gross margin. Beyond that, they're raising their guidance. They beat on revenue. They beat on EPS. The Blackwell chip is allegedly selling like no other. The numbers were legitimately good. The only thing that did not make it an A+ setup or an A+ report, it just made it an A report, was the gross margin. So I just want to call that out. That was the only slightly negative thing I could possibly find. But regardless of that, it was really, really good. And at this moment in time, you have a lot of traders who are uniquely mad because if you look at Nvidia, it just did not move much. It's only up 2.3%, and the expected move was anywhere from 8 to 10%. So call buyers destroyed, put buyers destroyed. The IV is going to collapse. And for those of you who don't know about like just vol crush, you're going to find out today. If you happen to buy calls, you're most likely going to be down when the market opens today, even though the price is up. And the reason for that is because of how much vol got crushed. So you're going to learn a pretty brutal lesson today of what happens when you move below the expected value. Quick side note, Amazon touts its first quantum computing chip a week after Microsoft's unveiling. So I guess more and more private companies or public companies, but they're doing their own quantum computing. I have to admit, this is a field that I am not the most knowledgeable about. I just have a generic high-level understanding of what's going on here. From my friends who are a little bit more into the world of science and physics and what's going on here, they're saying that this is like actually a really, really big deal between Microsoft and Amazon. We know Google's working on it, so might be cool. I just wanted to throw this out there because I don't know how big this particular narrative is going to get. So I just want to let you know that it seems like Amazon following the path of Microsoft and actually pulling off some pretty cool stuff. Now, if you haven't already, sign up for Locals. You can get on Locals as a member for 100% free. If you want to be a subscriber, which is a premium member, that's how you get into the Goonie Trading Discord. But if you just want to be a member, this is 100% free. Always has been, always will be. We'll never have to pay. And there's many cool things you get in there. But the major thing is every single weekend to your email inbox, you get this newsletter. I break down the previous week, tell you what to look for in the upcoming week, all the major earnings, and then I try to highlight the ones that I think you're going to care the most about. I give you all the major macroeconomic events. So for example, today, These are all the ones we got this morning. We know Schmid, the Kansas City Fed president, is already speaking starting at 9:15, pending home sales coming out at 10 a.m. And then we have two more Fed speakers coming on today, 1:15 and 3:15. And then tomorrow, obviously, we already spoke about the inflation report, but you have consumer sentiment coming out, more Fed speakers. So it's just a little quick cheat sheet of all the major things you might want to be paying attention to. And then I would argue the most useful thing is the seasonality of the individual day. The data that I am running here is on the past 27 years worth of data of the S&P 500 futures market. So this is the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought it open, sold at close on this individual day. For about 2 decades, it was leaning bullish. You could see a nice uptrend, but recently it's got a little bit more hit. And then over the past couple of years, it's bounced. So I wouldn't say it's the most bearish day, but it's definitely leaning a bit bearish. The bulls do win it more often, 56% of the time. So the bears are in it at 44% of the time. So the bulls, in terms of is today green or red, the bulls have a very slight edge, but what happens is when the bears win, they win with much greater size, so pay attention to that. And then I also want to remind you that tomorrow is very clearly bearish. From a seasonal standpoint, this is by no means a guarantee, but from a seasonal standpoint, over the past 27 years, almost the past 3 decades, the bears have won tomorrow 2 out of every 3 times. So once again, this is by no means a guarantee. I'm just giving you the odds of a situation. If you come into any situation related to the market and you're like, nope, this is guaranteed, it has to happen, that's most likely when you're about to get clocked. Moving on to today specifically, this is a look at yesterday's action in the S&P 500 index. So you can see we opened up, we pumped until about 11 and we were chopping, and then all of a sudden we really got clocked at 12:30. We vomited and a little bit of a reversionary bounce into the close. So remember, the green line is yesterday's high, the red line is yesterday's low, and the white line is yesterday's close. We mark these out because we know that the odds very much change upon a break of the previous high or the previous low. And in a gap situation, we know that there's good odds of trading to the previous day's close. So those 3 levels, the high, the low, and the close of the previous day, from a stats standpoint, are all very, very important. Then you're also going to notice these yellow lines, which are the key option levels. As of, hang on, let me log back in. I'm going to have to log back into all of these. Excuse me for one quick second. Logging in, logging in, logging in, logging in, logging in, logging in. Didn't mean to do that. Pardon me. Perdóname, por favor. Let's see how we are shaping up here this morning. Let's look over here at the 1 minute. We are at 5981 currently. So roughly where my cursor is. So we were right above a key options level. I would say right now, whenever we have these key levels, remember, if you're on the top side of it, look for it to be support. If you're on the bottom side of it, look for it to be resistance. If we look at the 3 major ones, we're pretty much going to open up at a key level. So if it holds it, great. If we could create a foundation there, I'm looking for a bounce up to 6,000. If it breaks, I'm looking for a fall somewhere between 5956 and 5950 right here roughly in this region. So a bounce and a push, that's the bull case. A breakdown and a flush to roughly yesterday's close, maybe a little bit of an overshoot. That is the initial bear case. So initial bull case, initial bear case. I do want to clarify, this level, 5950, is probably the biggest options level of today's expiration. So this is massively important. If this does not hold, if we break, I would be looking for a flush to not only yesterday's low, but to 5925, the next key level. And beyond that, the second biggest level of the day is 5900. But that would be my reach target. So basically, we're looking at this to kind of give us an indication of, are we strong or not? Once again, bull case target number 1, bull case target number 2, which would be an overshoot of yesterday's high, bringing us up to 60-20. So bull case 1, bull case 2, and then obviously bear case 1, bear case 2. Remember, coming into this situation as an active trader, I'm not talking about investors, but as an active trader, whether you're a day trader, a scalp trader, however you identify, you should never be married to the bull case or the bear case. You shouldn't. You should have both cases in mind and then react to the incoming data accordingly. Now, you might be thinking, okay, like what data should I be reacting to? And we have a video that's going to explain this in more detail coming out tomorrow. But let me give you the TLDR right here. You are going to want to look at 3 major things. You're going to want to look at the price trend, the options trend, and any technical breakdown on the chart, like a chart technical breakdown. So the first thing, and we could do this literally when the market opens, price trend. 5-minute bearish, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute questionable, 4-hour bearish. So I see bearish, 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 and questionable. If we look at the NASDAQ, bullish, 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 bearish. So right now, comparing the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100, mixed bag. One of them is leaning a bit more bearish. One of them is leaning a bit more bullish. You don't know who's going to be right. So you should wait until they're pretty much all really agreeing with each other, all kind of, in the same orchestra. So that's how you can look at price trend. And then obviously to look at options trend, as we do every single day, look at the delta flow. This is incredibly important. If there were a major thing that I would say over the past year or two has really improved my trading, it's paying attention to not only the key option levels, which I laid out for you right here, but also seeing the flow throughout the day. And remember, if you want this, you can get a fat 80% off right now. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video, you can get 80% off to join Spot Gamma. This is at their highest tier. You get all this good stuff. Obviously, I'm most of the time on Hero, but they have this trace tool where you can see the positioning. They have volatility dashboards. They have an equity hub. They have market close newsletters. They have market open newsletters. There's a lot going on here, and you can get access to all of it, kind of give it a test drive to see if it's appropriate for you. Right now, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video, you can get 80% off. We are the only community on God's green earth that they are offering this deal to. So they very much like you guys. They very much want to help you guys. So pay attention to this. So anyway, coming back to my point of pay attention to the price trend, pay attention to the options trend, and then the market's not really quite open. Well, obviously it's not open right now, but just look for structural breakdowns is like the third one. So for example, yesterday, if you were trading this, you could, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out an example of real time. You could just see shoulder, head, shoulder. So the neckline snap. So just the classic head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, bull flags, bull pennants, bear pennants. You want those to all agree. You want the break of the technical structure to agree with the current price trend, to agree with the current option trend. When those three things are aligning, that's when your odds of success greatly jump up. And then from there, that's going to be much more than at that point up to your risk management. Depending on the day, what is or isn't happening. Sometimes I'll be a little bit loosey-goosey with my risk. Other times I'll be absurdly stringent with my risk. So yesterday you guys saw it where there was a little bit of a movement into my favor, and right away I was moving my stop up just because I didn't think we were necessarily going to have a beautiful trending day. Today might be a little bit different. Obviously, we're going to have to look at price trend and option trend when the market opens, see what kind of technical structures are being created. But I'm telling you, the more things that align in your favor for your trade, if you want to look at larger time frames, smaller time frames for price trend, great. You want them all to be pointing in one direction. Remember, the more things that align, the better off you're going to be. Check that with the options trend. You might want to look at some key option levels if you have a service that does that. Obviously, one of my favorites is Spot Gamma. Also use GexSpot. And then from there, the final thing is going to be not only past your entry, but it's going to be how are you going to manage your risk? Because when you wait for all this to align, it's the equivalent to being dealt pocket aces in poker, which is the best starting hand. It's a phenomenal entry, but that doesn't necessarily going to mean you're going to win. So not only do you want to be betting accordingly, as in the appropriate size for your account, and most retail traders I run into, you're going to want to be betting smaller. It's very, very easy. It's a common tendency for people to be over betting too much for their account. So you're going to probably want to cut your bet size down. And then on top of that, when things move even slightly in your favor, don't hesitate to move your stop to break even, because this is a game of fishing. There's a lot of times that you're going to cast out and you're not going to catch anything. And you're going to be break even. Once in a while, you'll have a bad entry. You'll lose a unit, but you're in this game for that. Every so often, you catch a 5, 10, 15 unit bagger. And then in the net situation, you are greatly ahead. I think that is a very healthy way to approach the market. Is it the only way to approach the market? No. But it is what, I mean, even on, as you guys have been tracking my journey on Apex, it's what's helped me already take out $240,000 from these accounts. And I've officially, as of Tuesday, taken out $200,000 year to date. From January 1st until this moment, my Apex accounts, or Apex, has put in my bank account $200,000. And all I'm doing is using rudimentary setups, as I just explained to you. Any codes for GexSpot? No, same thing. Just in the description of the video, you're going to find that if you use the link to Spot Gamma or if you use the link to GexSpot, you're going to get a discount on both. Just so you guys know, you're not going to have to pay full freight on either of those. So, okay, cool. We're getting ready to rock today. I have this just in case we have any breaking news. China urges dialogue negotiations with the U.S. on trade disputes. China minister repeats opposition to the U.S. additional 10% tariff. The two sides should address respective concerns through equal dialogue and consultation. China is willing to work with the U.S. to create better business environment for enterprises from both countries. Okay. We see that obviously we are negotiating in a position of power. So most likely these countries are going to do whatever Trump tells them to do. It's going to be in the short term negative for everyone involved, but due to the size of our economy on a relative basis, it would be less impactful for us than it would be for some of our potential trade adversaries, if you will. Bitcoin trading at 85. What else is some big movers today? You know what? I'm getting a lot of questions about MSTR, so we'll take a little looky-see at this one. But, all right, we're getting ready for the day. We are 2 minutes till market open. I gave you the levels very quickly if you want to screenshot this. Oops. If you want to, let's do this. All right, we have this set up. Here are the key levels. Obviously, pay attention to the high, low, and close of yesterday. Here are the key option levels. We're going to be opening in this realm. Bull target number 1, bull target number 2, bear target number 1, bear target number 2. Feel free to screenshot this, write it down, do whatever you want, but I feel very confident of these levels, and I will update them throughout the day as options actually come in. I guess with that being said, we have about a minute and a half. So coming into today, you guys can see that we are slightly green. VIX is kind of doing some interesting things. How are you guys feeling on the day? At first, things were looking pretty bullish, but now the market's kind of giving some of this stuff back. So I would love to get your thoughts and opinions before the market opens. You have less than 60 seconds to tell me, because if you tell me after the market opens, well, that's a cheater, pumpkin eater type of a situation, because you're already going to know how the market opens. So do you think we're going to have a nice bullish day and we're actually bottom 2 days ago and we're recovering? Or do you think that this tariff talk heading into the inflation report tomorrow is actually going to be more of bad news bears and we're going to get crushed? Are you guys leaning a little bit bullish or leaning a little bit bearish? We have bull. We have a mega bear. Bears winning in pre-market. Where's my Doge dividend? Dingity. Bull. Bullish. Let's go bullish. Nvidia to 140. I don't know about that. The market wasn't too enthusiastic. Red, bearish, red. Bulls got this, red. We're about to find out. You guys seem to be roughly 50-50. So buckle up, Buttercup, because it's definitely going to be an interesting day. On a relative basis, the NASDAQ, the tech sector is stronger, probably because of Nvidia, but we're going to see how things really shake out. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Because remember, money doesn't matter anyway. It's not real. All right. If you've watched my show at all before, you know I do my best to wait my first 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes just to see how things are really shaking out. I think it is disadvantageous to you as an active trader to be trading right at market open because you simply do not know. All right, I need to reload these very quickly. Come on, let me back in. Let me in. I'm trying to show you guys the options flow out of the gate. We're on the 5-second chart. Mag's having a little bit of a pop. SPY doesn't know what it's doing. NASDAQ also dropping a little bit right there. We have this trace tool that we can pay attention to all the key levels. We'll be coming back to that when we have a bit more data. Remember, you can track the options flow the exact same way I do. And right now you could get a fat 80% off deal pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. I very much believe that SpotGem is one of the best tools you could use. Also, check out GexBot. That's also in the description of the video. I think you could get right here. I'll show you how this one looks. These are two of the major options. Actually, they're pretty much the only option tools I use to see the major levels of support and resistance. Every single day when you guys see me calling out these levels, like how do I know we're going to bounce or get rejected or at least like react to these levels? It's a combination of looking at SpotGemma and looking at GexBot. This is what I use to call out all the key levels. So right here, I can see some support at 59.80, using some other tools, 59.70. So that's why I called out 59.75, basically cut it in half. I'm looking for this to be support. We could also see the interesting flow right here directly. You know what? Let's open up 3 of these today. Let's make our life a little bit easier. Let's track. All right, here's the SPY 5-second. We're very drilled in. You can see the NASDAQ has been getting hit from the open, and the MAG 7 is perfectly flat. So SPY popped, dropped, NASDAQ just dropping, and MAG 7 very, very indecisive, which is exactly what's being represented in the first 3 minutes of trading. We popped, we dropped, we're popping again, we're barcoding at open. As I've said a million times before, and I'm probably going to say a million times again, trading right at market open. I think there's some advantages to it if you are a swing trader, but as a day trader, as a scalp trader, I think you need at least a couple minutes to pass to see what the general sentiment is. If you're just arbitrarily slinging some orders at 9:30, you're playing a 50-50 game. You truly are. So I just don't necessarily see the advantage of that. But if you have a system that's net profitable, hey, have at it. Don't let me stop you. But I would be willing to bet that you don't really. Choppy bear is Ben's guess. Well, we're going to be patient. I'm ready. As you can see, I haven't traded any of my Apex accounts. I did do a scalp trade. Oh, you guys cannot see what I can see. Right here, I did a scalp trade on my take profit because I just needed one more day for all these accounts to get passed to go from eval to performance. So that's why there's already a little scalp trade in here. So I am already set up. I have mine ready to go. I have the right account. I don't want to mess this up like I previously have. All right, all those accounts are good to go. Dope. I have that taken care of. I have the right order. I'm ready. I'm ready. We're just going to see how things are shaping up. I'm going to wait for whatever the first real impulse of the day is. I'm going to look to see how things do or don't align. The 5-minute and the 10-minute are about to potentially test going bullish on the SPY. The NASDAQ is already bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute already bullish. We're holding this level. Remember, bullish target number 1 is 6,000. Bullish target number 2 is a break not only of yesterday's high, but also a push all the way up to 6,020. I'm not necessarily sold on this bull case yet because this tariff news is like, it's legitimate news. It is like very impactful news. So I'm trying to, right here, the NASDAQ just got smashed at 933. The MAG 7 is long and strong. The SPY is indecisive. It did pick up until 931, since then going down. So the S&P 500 complex trending down, the NASDAQ complex clearly trending down, but then the MAG 7 trending up. So the options flow is as mix and match as we're seeing in the price flow. So remember, when you see a lot of mismatched things, you just don't really have that much of an advantage. It's okay. Wait for that good situation to come to you. You do not need to rush the trades. I swear, if I did like a full-fledged breakdown of my trading account, most of my losses are probably highly correlated with when I'm just like trying to force a trade and not waiting for that like perfect A+ setup. Patience will pay. Trading is one of the unique things in the world where you're actually commonly better off by doing less. There are so many professions and other aspects of our life that the more you do, the more effort you put in, you're going to be better off. And trading is the unique thing where you have to put in a lot of time and effort of doing nothing and sitting around and being patient. Trading is one of those weird things where you are rewarded quite a bit by just sitting on your hands a lot of the time. And that doesn't even, I'm even talking about active trading. Investing is even more sitting on your hands and doing absolutely nothing. But even for active trading, you are sitting around for hours. Just for hours doing fucking nothing. And you got to get used to it. That aspect of the market is never going to change. You have to be absurdly disciplined to do nothing. Not a zilch goose egg. You just got to wait. So if you're an impatient person, you either need to quit trading or you need to find it with deep in your soul, deep within your personality, how you can possibly just sit there and do nothing. It's a lot of sitting around watching, doing nothing is my specialty. Well, this might be for you then. All right, we're about 6-7 minutes into the day. The SPY, big pop right there at 935. So we went up a little bit, sizable drop, and then we actually just got the biggest pop of the day at 935. The NASDAQ got a huge drop at 933. The MAG 7 slowly but surely climbing to the upside. And speaking of slowly and surely climbing to the upside, we are encroaching in on that bull target number 1 key options level. do not be surprised if this ends up being a rejection. Obviously, we get above it and hold above it. That then increases the odds of 609.82, increases the odds of 6020. But the first, like before we get there, you have to recognize that this is legitimate resistance. One other thing I could show you right now. Let me. Yeah, 6,000. You can see that there's quite a bit of a call wall there. Right here, you can see the open interest. There's a spike there. There's a spike at 59.50. Those are the two closest ones. You can see with the open interest change, a lot of people playing the 6,000. You can see with the volume from last night to now, 6,000 and 59.50. These levels are pretty evident. You can see a lot of people sold the 610 calls, as in they think we'll go up, but not up that much. And then the expected range on the day is about 40 points on SPX, which is roughly equivalent to $4 on the SPY. So we could come back and kind of check this out and see where the aggression either is or isn't. But it looks like we might be getting a little. The NASDAQ got clocked again. The SPY is potentially turning here. The Mag 7, 5-minute and 10-minute are trying to go bullish on the SPY. 5-minute and 10-minute are potentially maybe a breakdown here. This is interesting. The Qs just got a bit clocked, but not like a horrible amount. I'm curious if this low is going to be a higher low or if we're actually going to take out the intraday low. All right. Let's see this. I'm marking out the lows. Right now, since market open, we do have higher highs and higher lows. And we also have this S&P 500 trying to go bullish. The 30 minutes already bullish, but I'm watching the 5 and the 10 here. The NASDAQ was clearly bullish, but now in a weird turn of events, that's the one that's showing weakness and maybe potentially breaking down. So right now, we obviously have an undershoot of the 6,000 target. This is getting interesting. I'm not really sold on anyone winning thus far today. The Mag 7 was pretty bullish from 933 to 936, 3 minutes of just the options market popping off. The NASDAQ has just been getting hit all day. Huge hit at 933, huge hit at 937. Those both got smoked. The SPY tried to pop here. Puts got closed out, calls got purchased, all at 935, but that movement is quickly being faded. Patience. The Qs did take out the low. Interesting. So even though we took out the low, we are still on top of the VWAP. What is your opinion on why Nvidia isn't performing like we thought it should? I don't know how you thought it should. I mean, I already covered it, but the gross margins is what the market didn't like. A declining gross margins is a leading indicator for not so bueno earnings in the future. A lot of people use that as a canary in a coal mine type of a situation. But in terms of why Nvidia isn't performing like I don't know how you thought it should have performed. Matt, can you explain the vol you mentioned on Nvidia? Oh yeah, after earnings, vol gets crushed. Volatility gets crushed after the event that people are predicting a big move. It's called vol crush, and it's absurdly common. Like as soon as you start trading at all, especially in the world of options, you're going to learn about vol crush. So coming into an event that you're expecting to be a catalyst, whether a large bullish or bearish one, after that, the vol dries up. So that's why right now, even if you had coin calls, the fact that we only went up 2%, you're already down money on your calls because the volatility was expecting an 8 to 10% move. So the fact that we undershot that is why you're getting completely destroyed right now. AMD is better than Nvidia. I don't buy that. I think they're both pretty good. I also like Broadcom. I like ASML. I think they're all successful in the long term. When you say better, like what aspect are you talking about? If you think AMD is generically better than Nvidia across the board, well, you're wrong. It might be better in certain aspects. Like maybe there's an aspect of the business that you like a little bit more. And I guess at that point you could have a better discussion, but just to generically say that AMD is better, no. Also, very quickly circling back to playing earnings, folks, the odds of you being successful when playing earnings dramatically increase when you start selling premium instead of buying premium. Another way to put that is coming into earnings, you are far better off selling calls or selling puts, or maybe selling calls and puts, rather than buying calls and buying puts, or buying calls and puts. It is better going into earnings. There's been many studies on this, but if you look at like just the entire board of market reactions to earnings, generally it is the expected move is generally overstating how things actually played out. So usually realized volatility is below implied volatility. So as a trading system, once again, this is not true for every single day, but as a trading system, you're gonna be better off by selling premium going into earnings rather than being long premium. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, being long premium is a loser's game. And the market is getting hit. Mag 7, a little bit of a vomit. NASDAQ, very much a vomit. S&P 500, very much a vomit. So what I am looking for, as you guys can see here, is I didn't want to go short above VWAP because sometimes there's bounces like this, and the amount of times that I've gone short and then it goes to VWAP and bounces against me is too many to count. So I just didn't want to get caught up in that. I don't think that this was a bad short here at I think you reasonably could have taken this at 941.45. I think this breakdown, because you have very, very close risk. You also have VWAP risk. So you have two different risk points that are relatively close. You could be short at 63. You're risking 78. You're risking 91. Obviously, that one's already paying out. I'm being a little bit more, I guess, specific with my entry today. I want to see a bounce that does not take out 77. I just want to see some sort of bounce here where I could just get in at a obviously getting in at a better price is my goal. So I don't want to chase this to the downside. I would love a bounce back up to 60. And then I want a failure at 60. And then that's where I want to place my position. But just very quickly, as we're waiting for our sanity check, yes, we could see the SPY is diving. We can see the NASDAQ is diving. Even the Mag 7's getting hit. We took out the opening low. The Qs are already at the closing value from yesterday. MSTR is getting hit. We have coin getting hit. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bearish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute bearish. I would argue today you are clearly looking for a bearish setup. And if you are looking for this, a very evident goal is right here in this zone, roughly this 5-point region. Yesterday's close on the SPX and this key options level at 59.50. This is a pretty evident zone to be playing off of. I haven't gotten into a position yet because I haven't seen enough of a reversionary bounce, really. This has been a pretty straight sell-off, so I just missed the whole thing. I guess I was a little too busy talking with all you cool cats and kittens. So if there's a bit of a bounce and then a failure of said bounce, that's what I'm looking for. That is definitely what I am looking for. I don't want to get caught up chasing it. Like I said, I want to look for that perfect opportunity. This is the zone that I'm looking for. Like I said, I would like a bounce maybe back up to 75 here, and then I could play off of that. That would be a level that I'm definitely interested in. Bearish, 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 bearish. All right, and then I see that the options are getting a little bit of a pop right here. I would like a little bit more of a pop for me to do anything. Don't want to chase it to the downside, even though obviously that would have worked out pretty nicely. All right. This is the structure I'm going to be watching. Like I said, I didn't want to chase it to the downside. I am looking for a short position, but I need to be very specific with my entry. We're bouncing right back up to that key level. I wonder if it's going to be rejected here. NASDAQ turned, Mag 7 still going, SPY turning a little bit. Oh, we bounced right off that trend line. We bounced right off that trend line. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right, I'm taking a stab at it.
Order submitted.
Taking a stab at it. 85 is my risk for right now. Just took a short. I'm short at whatever the hell this is, 17. And we're going to see if we could catch a trend. We're going to see if we could catch a trend. So I kind of got in because I was peeking and I saw that the SPY was turning back down. But unfortunately, literally right after I got into my position, someone bought a bunch of 0 DTE calls. I know that this might serve as resistance at 75. You can see it better on the 1 minute here. My position is slightly underwater, but I'm basically, I didn't want to chase this to the downside because I didn't know how close to the bottom we were. So I saw a little bit of a pop. I thought we were turning back over. The NASDAQ is still weak. The Mag 7 did pop, but I got in right when I saw this turn here. I obviously wish I waited for a second because I didn't expect this to happen. And now it's going even more. All right, I very much need options to turn. I thought this was going to be a little bit of a dead cat bounce, not only in price, but also in delta. I'm still trading with overall price. I'm trading with overall trend. And obviously what I'm looking for is for us to take out this intraday low on both the SPY and on the Qs. I'm going to set up an alert on that. We might have a bit of support being found here on the Qs themselves, right at the red or green to red move. This is yesterday's closing value, 514.56. The closing value on the SPY is 594.56. I believe that is very, very much in the cards today because it looks as if we're continually failing at this resistance level. It was support. It got clocked, came back up, got rejected. We're going to take out the 50 EMA on the 1 minute. And then from there, I think that's opening up a pretty easy move all the way down to yesterday's close value, which we know that there are high odds of hitting the previous day's close value. That's all that edgeful stuff going on. And it looks like your boy is already up about $900. Come on, let's see if I can play this right today. Let's see if I can. All right, I'm moving. I now have a freebie play. My stop is now break even. So no matter what, I'm not losing money on this play, which shit, it's coming for me. But that's why you have your stop. So like I said, no matter what, I'm not losing money. I have a free play. This is a lottery ticket play. These are my favorite types of plays because worst case scenario, this is really what I alluded to at the start. Folks, I gave you this game plan before the market even opened. I said, what we're looking for is price trend, options trend to align, and then we want to see a technical breakdown in the direction of price trend and options trend. That's exactly what happened. And then the third part was you managing your size. I traded one contract, and then the other thing is aggressive risk management. That's a little bit in the eye of the beholder of how much you personally want to risk. But right here, I now have a free play. If this goes against me, I am not losing money. If it goes in my favor, who knows? I might make 900, I might make 2,000, I might make a little less, I might make a little bit more. I don't know. That all I know is I'm not losing money. It might be a scratch trade, and if it's a scratch trade, that's life. You have to get used to it. Sometimes you're gonna have scratch trades, and the way I trade, I end up having a lot of scratch trades because I'd rather just be break even and then every so often have enough skin in the game to get that big potential multiple return of like a 10 unit, 15, 20 unit return. So that's my own style. It fits my personality. I'm not saying it's appropriate for everyone, but I am saying it's appropriate for me. It's what works for me. It's exactly how I've made $240,000 on Apex from the start of December till now. It's exactly how I've made $200,000 on Apex year to date. And it's also exactly how I got these take profit accounts approved. I'm giving it away. I'm explaining the entire methodology of what I do. What basis do you have to move your stop to break even? There's some stats, facts, and figures that I know of. Once it goes X amount in my favor, if it reverts, I'm most likely wrong. So I've just done a bunch of back testing of knowing the various levels related to ATR and really standard deviations of ATR of when I should be moving it in my favor. All right. I should do some quick math on the most money I can make today. 216.5 minus that. All right, so the most I could possibly go to today is right here. I'm not saying this is my profit target. I just need to mentally know that I'm not allowed to ride it past that, and that just has to do with the nuances of like sim defunded and their consistency rules. So I just know I'm not allowed to move this any lower, but in reality, what's going to knock me out is my stop, because I'm just going to do some trend following type of trading. And what are we at? Or I could just take this money now. Do I think this is going to fail? Hang on, let me do a quick sanity check. Like I said, I'm looking for 56. Obviously, I'm looking for 56. Bearish, 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 bearish. Flow was bearish. We got a little bit of a bounce right there. The NASDAQ starting to bounce a bit at 951. The MAG 7 bearish all the way up until 951. We saw a bit of a bounce, but this might just be a lower high. You never know how big bounces are going to be, which is why I'm a big fan of aggressive stop movement, and also really the concept of, I guess, like continuing to lower your stop and just chasing that trend to the downside. I need MSTR to crack 250 today, and I need coin to crack 205. I am in those positions, and they are not looking pretty, so I refuse to look at them at the moment. But I do need to watch this. I might have some ants in my pants, if you will, if we break down this 2 standard deviation move, because that is statistically rare. So on a recovery from that, I might need to ditch a little bit early, but I'm up over 20K right now, so I'm not going to be complaining at all. Folks, everything I showed to you today, I laid the plan out beforehand. Before the market opened, I showed you the key levels. As the market was opening, I told you the exact situation I was looking for. You saw the exact situation I was looking for. I explained it all to you in real time. You see the trade in real time. I truly don't believe other traders are not only putting their money where their mouth is, but they're doing it in real time. We have a lot of these Monday morning quarterback cunts out there, but I don't know of another person doing it exactly the way I am. I called it out before the market opened. As the market opened, I let you know what I was looking for. Before I entered the trade, I let you know exactly what I was looking for in the trade. You saw me get in the trade, and you're seeing me manage the trade throughout. Like, who else is doing that? I truly don't think anyone in the guru, furu internet space is being as transparent as I possibly can. I'm up $40,000 right now, and actually, I might need to cut it. Like I said, I've done not a lot, that's bullshit. I've done a decent amount of research of what happens when price gets on the south side of the 2 standard deviation move. And I need to be careful, because if there's a quick recovery, I need to cut it. But I would love for my max profit to be hit. My max profit is 60K. Once again, I think we keep dropping, but I have to get out because of the rules put on me from being a prop account trader. Come on, give me my 60 G's. 60 G's, baby. Come on. Come on. $60 G's. We're going to lock it in. We're going to lock it in. Bada bing, bada canceled. Boom. You saw it all in real time. 60 G's, baby. Or to put that another way,
he can fight going forwards. He can fight going backwards. Look at that uppercut. Looking to finish it here. This is why everyone's been talking
this is me versus the market right now.
Conor McGregor, another first-round win. 13 wins, 12 knockouts. Unbelievable. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Dana, 60 G's, baby!
60 G's, baby!
He can fight going forwards. He can.
Easy as pie, folks. Easy as pie. So I'm pretty much done with that today. I guess I should take a screenshot, but I'm kind of done with my trades on the day, folks. I mean, it's not even 10 a.m. But let me take a screenshot of that so I can talk shit on Twitter. Let me take a quick screenshot of that so I could talk shit on Twitter. And I'm done. I traded these accounts. I traded those. The best thing I could possibly do in my life is make sure that there's no positions. Cancel all orders. I just want to make sure. I've had some rogue trades on me, so I'm just trying to I'm just trying to make sure I'm actually out of all my positions. I don't need some random like shit happening to me. I'll double check by, let me disconnect. Yes. Let me disconnect. Yes. All right. Let me reconnect. I just want to make sure I'm properly out of all the positions. But we're puking. I told you. I mean, I called this level out to all of you. I called out 50. Upon that break, you're watching yesterday's low at 5932. You have a little bit of a hiccup at 5925. Could easily bounce off of that roughly within this region. I'm looking for this region right here to be support. If this support doesn't hold, I'm looking for a puke directly to 5,900. I would like for this situation to play out. I don't know if it will, though, but I would love to see 5,900. I would really love to see 5,900, but that's where we're at. Okay, am I properly? All my positions are gone. All my accounts good. Let me just double check this. Folks, I'm telling you, if you are attempting to be a prop trader, the best thing you could do is after this is just shut it down. I find that it's very rarely your first trade, your first effort, your first analysis that blows up in your face when you're trading. It is generally when you are sitting there looking for things that are not there and you're on your fourth, fifth, sixth trade of the day. I'm promising you this. One of the major things that turned my prop trading around from failure to success is having the discipline to do exactly this, shutting it the fuck down. I'm telling you, honestly, in chat, admit it. Admit it. How many of you have been having a really good day and you want it to be better, so you keep trading, and then before you know it, at the end of the day, you're like blowing up, like, and you lose all your money? If you are a prop trader, I'm telling you, you get your solid 1-2 trades in, shut it down. One of the days that I have the worst issues are the days that I'm trading the most. The days that are like easy peasy lemon squeezies are just like this. I made one trade, I waited for that perfect setup, and I shut it down. You gotta stop yourself from fucking up your trading account. You are gonna be the biggest issue. And we've all been there. I've been there, you've been there. Folks, it is over trading that is gonna destroy you. Wait for that opportunity, and if you don't, dude, go get a cat, go get a dog, go have a kid. Have something that takes up your time to stop you from just staring at the charts and going crazy and over trading. I'm telling you, not only for like quote unquote normal trading, like as in not prop trading, but I'm telling you, especially for prop trading, my success, the odds of my success dramatically increased when I was trading less. That's it. Trading less is a massive, massive skill. And it's hard because, like, of course, you all want more money. But I'm telling you, if you focus on trading less and keeping your losses just really maxed, like where you're just like, nope, the ceiling's fine. Like you're putting a very low ceiling on your losses. Dude, I promise you this, the profits will take care of themselves. And the times that I go awry and fuck everything up, it's the times that I'm over trading and I'm not putting a ceiling on my losses and I keep trying to make my losses back. Those are the days where you're going to blow up your accounts. The days like this, you make 60K, you get in, you do your work. Folks, I mean, the market opens at 9:30. I was out at by 9:55. In 25 minutes, I made $60,000. That's, dude, get in, get out, move on with your life. Get in, get out, move on with your life. It is not a benefit to sit there more and more and more. It just simply is not. We're at yesterday's low, which actually is a very serious level. Hang on. Hold your horses there, Tonto. Hold your horses. We are puking. Yes, we are. We are puking. Yes, we are. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, if you are in the Discord, Piper, I'm just double checking it to make sure I don't have any stupid typos. All right, Piper's in there if you're in the Discord. As a percentage, how much do you make as income and how much stays liquid for trading? The money that I have is pretty much all in trading. Obviously, for business expenses, I have an employee to pay. I have like rent. So I don't know the exact percentages, but involved in accounts in one way or another. Not really active trading, but if you count like my investment accounts, my crypto account, and then on top of that, I have 2 options accounts. I have a futures account. I have I have a swing options, another options, and another options. Like most of my money is in the market. Of course, I have some cash, and the cash I have, I keep in a high yield account because why would I not have my money work for me? But remember, because of inflation, your money is always losing money. It's not really ever smart to leave your money in cash. Like if you leave your money in cash, you're inherently losing value. So at a minimum, my cash, I put in a high yield account and then I just take it out when I need it. Where are we at? Oh, wow. Look at where we're bouncing, he says, surprised. I wonder why in the world. I just really wish that there were a person out there who would explain. Like, I wish there were a trader out there, a handsome, devilishly handsome streamer who had a beautiful beard, who also explained in a very concise, reasonable manner the levels that we might bounce out, the levels that we might get rejected by, the levels you gotta watch. Like I wish there was a content creator out there who occasionally wears black sweaters, has a great head of hair, an awesome beard, a really cool cat, who also just lays out the exact levels that the market is going to be pivoting at. I just wish it existed because that would help me and my trading, and I would know where to trade, where not to trade. But I just don't think it exists. Who doesn't like Ripple? Yeah. If we're really like putting in all the ingredients to create this trader, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, just like, God damn, he's handsome, super strong, super charismatic, super charming, super funny, smoking hot wife. I just wish it was out there. Awesome beard is a stretch, dude. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this lately. Quickly, we'll take a break from the market. Dude, there's a lot. Yeah, it doesn't come through that well. I have a patch of white hair here, and then I have orange hair on this side. Apparently, my beard has every color you could think of. This isn't blonde hair. It's like legit white, and it's always been there. I just never grown it out to see it. But I have all the colors in this beard. Like, I guess I'm too far away, and maybe because of this, it looks dark. But dude, there's orange in here, there's blonde in here, there's white in here, there's black in here. I have the rainbow of fucking hair colors in my beard, which I feel like I should talk to a doctor about it because I don't know why I have so many colors in my beard. But I guess, I mean, the white hair in my beard, which I've had it since day one. Like, it started out white. It wasn't because you guys stressed the fuck out of me. It's because, I don't know. It's just like what the color of my beard is. And I feel like if you guys saw me in person, you'd think I'm like old man time, you know? All right, a little bit. I need coin to crack 210, and I need MSTR to crack 250. I really need that to happen. Make coin die again? I wish. Mag 7's getting hit. NASDAQ is getting hit. SPY is actually bouncing since 10 a.m. So the turn of the hour, we're seeing a bounce in the SPY. More specifically, we're actually seeing some aggressive 0 DTE call buying. The call buying is coming off of this key support level. And once again, how do we know it's key support? Well, it's all because of spot gamma, watching the flow, and seeing, obviously, all the key levels, which you can get off of tools such as Trace. Remember, you could get 80% off right now on spot gamma, and you could get 65% off on GexBot. They're pinned to the top of chat. They're in the description of the video. But if you want these tools, I mean, look at that. Look at this support zone that we're bouncing right off of. I like both. I use both in conjunction with each other. Obviously, use both or use whatever is better for you. But if you're attempting to be a trader and you have no vantage point of what's going on in the options market, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for you to be successful. Look how important of a level 5950 is. Look at all that gamma. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I don't think we'll bounce all the way back up there. If we do, I think we get rejected because it's that important. But right here, we're bouncing I mean, I called this level out to you guys. It's not fucking rocket surgery. It's just reading options flow. It's reading the key levels. Anyone could do it. You have to just put in a modicum of effort to understand the market makers and how they interact with options when they're writing all these options, and really the mathematical implications on all those Greek values. You put in one solid week, one solid month of studying options, and you'll be able to read this flow and these levels as well as I do. It is not rocket surgery, I promise you. I know a lot of people in the world of trading, they try to dress something up as overly complicated, and they do that to feel more self-important. It's self-aggrandizing. And then also, when you realize that they're full of shit and don't know what they talk about, they like to dazzle you with like bullshit. So I don't know how many of you guys know that retard ICT. ICT, Inner Circle Trader. First of all, he's actually retarded. And I don't mean that as like a pejorative. I mean that as like someone who's mentally deficient. And he's also just like from fucking Looney Tunes land. But anyway, the way he does it is he explains to you the most basic concepts of support and resistance, but then he makes it seem so incredibly complicated that, like, when you get it wrong, because he doesn't know what he's talking about, because he's never had a profitable trading year in his life, he likes to make it so complicated so that if you're wrong, he explains it with more complication to explain why you were wrong. In reality, he just doesn't even know. Like, this guy has hundreds of hours of, in the most complicated way. It's like, it's reverse Spark Notes. Really, in 30 seconds, you could explain support and resistance in the market. And he somehow has tried to explain support and resistance with years of content. It's literally just support and resistance. It's honestly reverse Spark Notes. Imagine taking a book and making it 100 times longer. That's exactly what he does. ICT not profitable because market makers target him. Yeah. So he says. He's such a fucking twat. I pray for the day that he leaves the internet, because people who follow him, they lose money. The people who somehow get lucky and make money, it's because they've learned their own things, and they learn that all he talks about is basic support and resistance. The guy is legitimately retarded. He's never had a profitable year. He's been caught lying multiple times. Every single trading challenge he's engaged in, he's lost. He never pays up on his bets. He's a piece of shit human being, like a legitimate piece of shit human being. There's very, very few people who, like, I just like wouldn't give a fuck if they just like disappeared and we never heard from him again, and it would be him. He's the Ron Hubbard of FinTwit. He is. That's like symbolism essays on literature. I'm missing that one. I guess trust me, I'm British. Preach the absolute worst. Do Pelosi next. Well, Pelosi's actually a good trader, unlike ICT. That's the different. All right, looks like we have a bit of a dead cat bounce going on right here. A bit of the old dead cat. What do we have? So right here on the 1 minute, you can see lower highs, lower lows. We put in another high. The question is, are we going to take out this high and potentially change trend, or are we actually just going to end up vomiting at yesterday's low and going down, down, down? Oh, man, I really need MSTR to take out 250. I really need coin to take out 205. Here's the current flow. NASDAQ just bottom, a little bit of a pop. NASDAQ looking pretty sick. And here's the S&P 500 complex. We had that strong bounce right at the turn of the hour, and then since then, kind of choppy. We almost turned over right here at 10:08, but then there was a little bit of a pop. More specifically, no one's really touching calls. It's more puts being closed out, so they're removing negative delta out of the system right here on these puts. But patience. Remember that we might get a little bit of a higher low right here. So right here, we just broke this high. We have a bit of a higher low, so a little bit of a market structure shift. Please understand, it'll be tough to break 59.50. This is clearly laid out on GexBot right here. We are whoop, 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 right here. 59.45, 59.50. You got some resistance. Remember, teal is reactive. purple is more passive unless the purple level is absolutely massive. So I'm looking for price. Once again, teal is reactive. I'm looking for price to react to this region right here, which is exactly where we are. So if you haven't traded yet, or if you're looking for a trade, what you could do is just look for this rejection at a key level. Look for the options to turn once again south. You want the delta flow to go the other way, and then look for this right here for this trend line to break. So those are we already know you're trading with trend. The 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute is bearish. The 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 30 minute is bearish. So we've identified price trend generically as being bearish. Then in the short term, you want this technical structure to break. And then the break of this technical structure will be all that more important if the options flow is also going south. So that's what I would be doing. I'm kind of done trading on the day, but if I were looking for another trade, this is exactly what I'd be looking for. I'd be saying, okay, cool. In the short term, I see this giant vomit. We're getting a short-term reversion. We're coming up to resistance. I want to see a rejection at said resistance. I want to see the market structure shift. I want to see this little bullish trend, because higher highs and higher lows to snap. I'd be looking at the snap of the trend line. And then as a sanity check, I'd be looking that the options are also turning with price. That's what I'd be looking for. Well, that's a pump. Geez, not really. I mean, we were all the way up here. If anything, we've only come back about a quarter, maybe a third. And this is a natural level. I mean, I guess this shouldn't be surprising at all. We hit support, and then generally when you hit support, if you bounce, you generally bounce to the next resistance, and this was the next resistance. So like, I think this is actually pretty reasonable. And now we're right at that level. So now that we're at 59.50, let's see how we actually react here. What in the world is going on? Remember, 59.50, we are right at that resistance. Mag 7 still showing some strength. NASDAQ, not really showing. It's kind of choppy, I suppose. It's not really doing anything. The SPY is what's really been popping since 10. See how options started to pop before we actually bottom? This is why I like reading options so much, because commonly they are a leading indicator. Right here, options started to pick up at 10, and then about a minute later is when price actually bottomed. So the options market was kind of like a leading indicator in this particular circumstance. And now we see this pop all the way up to 59. We're at 56 right now. We just got to watch it. Watch it. I think this one, for anyone who has spent 1 second of their life learning technicals, it's pretty obvious to just watch this right here. We have the higher highs, we have the higher lows. Just look for the snap of this trend line. And once again, just ensure 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, all bearish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, all bearish. You're looking at the flow. Obviously, you would want this to turn because we've been popping since 10:09 on the Mag 7. The Nasdaq's been weak all day. And then the SPY actually had a nice pop at 10. So we're going to see how this goes. I do want to call out the major put wall is 5,900. We already have that marked out. But to get there, we're going to have to snap 59.25, which is another key level. So upon the snap of, I don't want both of those. Upon the snap of 59.25. So what I'd be looking for as an interesting trade of the day is a rejection on this red to green move, which is where we are right now. Remember, the white line is the closing value from yesterday. That's naturally going to be support or resistance depending on the direction you come from. Obviously, we're coming from the bottom, so this is a red to green move. So looking for that to be resistance as opposed to support. Looking for the rejection here, seeing how it dances around 59.50. We know that's a key level. I'll just keep monitoring options to see if there's bullishness or bearishness. But personally, what I'd be looking for is a rejection and then a snap of this trend line, and then you get confirmation that we're going back from bearish, mini bullish to actual bearish again, not only from a snap of this trend line, but from taking out this low around 59.30. We know there's support at 59.25. It might catch itself there. I have no clue. But if this doesn't hold, I'd be looking for 5,900 today. This is one of the major option levels played today, 5,900 flat, which we could easily get to, especially if we get more, let's call it negative commentary or negative developments related to any of this tariff talk. It is very much this tariff talk that led us to where we are right now. The SPY is slightly red. The Qs are more so red. Looking at this, the SPY is battling it out at this red to green move. The Qs have a bit more distance to go. This might be the old 10 a.m. reversal. Very well could be. It's all going to be dependent on future traders, not trading on the futures market, but people who have not traded, as in like we're waiting for their trades to hit the market to see if they want to be bullish or bearish or how aggressive they want to be. But all I could tell you is from 9:37 to 10 a.m., things were clearly bearish. Then we're kind of getting a little bit of a recovery, not so much in the 0 DTE, but it's pretty evident in the all expiration. So not for the day, but people are buying longer dated calls. That's this orange one bouncing up. I wouldn't be chasing this to the upside. If you wanted to chase this to the upside, the trade was right here at 10.10 because you puked, you made a high, you made a higher low, and then as soon as you took out this high, this was the point to go long when it took out 5938 and your risk was this recent low. So you're long at 5938, your risk is 5930. That's the opportunity to go long. It's not the opportunity to go long now because you're just taking on too much risk. Remember, just because things are bullish or bearish looking, that doesn't mean it's appropriate for you to get in, because not only do you want to be ideally trading with trend, but you also want to have a close risk point. You don't want to take on that much risk. So clearly this is bullish, but just because something's bullish, you don't chase it. You don't go long right at resistance. You get in when you actually have some room to run with more reasonable risk. So if you were taking this reversionary bounce, you could take a stab the second you hit 25, and then obviously your risk was only 17 as you recovered. But more so, I would have liked this trade at 10.10 because you put in a higher low and you're praying for the higher high, and then as soon as you see that higher high, you go long and you play it up to the next key level. So that was obviously a nice scalp. That was a very reasonable scalp. But what I'm looking for at this point for more of a trend change, and we might be seeing this soon, is a breakdown of this trend line. And as I've said a gazillion times, you want that to be here. Let's go to the 1 minute. You want that to be in alignment with options also breaking down. The Mag 7's been bouncing since 10.10. The NASDAQ is as low as it's been all day. The SPY is still holding. It's gone flat since 10.13. So not only do you want price to break the trend line, and I cannot stress this enough, price is one thing, but also you're going to get, the odds will greatly increase of you being quote unquote right the more things that align. So you don't want just a price breakdown. You also want an options breakdown. And specifically, you'd probably want to see the S&P 500 complex vomit a little bit. But bearish. Yep. And now we've just gone flat. We came right back up to that closing value, natural level to react to. We are sitting on top of a key options level. So just watch this. I have no particular prediction of are we going to bounce and keep going. If we do, I'm telling you 5975. But on the flip side, if we break down, I'm calling out 5927, somewhere in between these two levels. Remember, don't be married to the bullish or bearish prediction. React accordingly. React to the bounces and pushes. React to the breakdowns and the falls. Your job as an active trader is to react. It is not to predict. That is one of the biggest misconceptions that I see in the world of retail trading, is that retail traders commonly think that there's some sort of model where you can perfectly predict what's going to go on, or you can even somewhat predict that what's going to go on. You are not good at predicting. I am not good at predicting. Retail traders are not good at predicting. And the reason you're not good at predicting is because the market movement is decided by people who are about to trade and most likely trade with size. You don't know what they're going to do. Unless your daddy's a billionaire and he's telling you if he's about to buy or sell, you don't know if the next person is going to be buying calls, selling puts, buying puts, selling calls, coming with full size, half size. The market movement is decided upon future trades, as in trades that are about to happen. So unless you have that type of connection, you are not in the game of predicting. You are in the game of seeing the setups, knowing most likely where you're anticipating where market makers are going to react. That's the key option levels. And then really most importantly, you're just managing your risk. As an active trader, you react to price developments, you react to option developments, and really your number one job day in and day out is to just pay attention to your risk. Even the trade that I already showed you guys this morning, as soon as it went a decent amount in my favor, I moved my stop to break even. I took all my risk off the table. If you can really gaslight yourself into trading like that time and time again, that's where the money's going to be found. Your money's going to be found by minimizing your risk, and the profits, I promise you, will take care of themselves. I'm looking at 52. We might be turning here. Nasdaq's still pretty sick. The Mag 7 is now flat, but looking at the SPY to get cracked. I'll let you know if I see it. It's turning a little bit right now, but we got this pop up until 10:12, and then it went flat. So let me go to the 3 minute. 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 All right, we'll consolidate our data a little bit. Decent pop right up to yesterday's closing value on the SPY. The Qs are under it. The Qs are actually at their low value from yesterday. So on a daily chart, that's a clear, obvious technical breakdown. Coin is a little bit more bullish than I want it to be. Same thing with MSTR. It is so incredibly insane to me that MSTR is not at like trading at 220 or something right now. Options are going crazy at the second. Look at this. The 5 second is popping out of nowhere on the 0 DTE. 0 DTE calls being bought just now. We had about a minute worth. Looks like some system just went a little bit haywire on 0 DTE calls related to the S&P 500 complex. Some puts were closed out, but really like this move that you're seeing right now in real time, it's these calls being purchased, pushing us up. Guess what? To the next level, 5975. 5975. What a crazy dip and turnaround. What a wild world we are currently in. How do we go to 5920 and then bounce 50 points? We've bounced 50 points in 20 minutes. That is fucking disgusting. That is insane. And what's even more insane is we, in the same amount of time, dumped 50 points. Look at that range. 50-point dump, 50-point pump. Wild. Absolutely wild. How can you not love this? Mag 7. Nasdaq is still unhealthy. The SPY is getting some action here for sure. Maybe I should go to the 30 second. Maybe that'll be a little bit. But the Nasdaq is not following suit. The Mag 7 getting also a little bit of a pop. But look how weak the Nasdaq still looks. The Nasdaq, obviously, price has been popping. But look how negative the delta still is. For the NDX QQQ complex for today is the green. Longer duration is right there. The SPY is leading the path forward. The Mag 7's kind of following, but the Nasdaq is looking lethargic. So still a little bit mixed. I'm curious if the 5 minute and the 10 minutes actually going to break out right here. The cloud was clearly bearish, might be attempting to go bullish. Obviously, I'll be watching that. But more importantly, I know we just ran up to another key level. So let's see if this one holds or fails. Obviously, we flushed all the way to support. We bounced up. We came to the next resistance. It held, caught a bid, went up to the next resistance. Now we're going to watch this. If it does hold, guess what? 6,000. If it does break down, guess what? 59.50. You're just playing it from level to level to level. That's what I mean by you are reacting to price development. You are not just like arbitrarily saying, I think we go up. I think we go down. If you are just saying, I think, like, you don't fucking know. There's way too many traders who are, you're going to lose money if you're just trading with your gut. It drives me insane, but that's how retail traders really, I'm not saying all of you, but a lot of retail traders do engage in the market. They just have these gut feelings, just absolute gut feelings. And I just don't get it. Can I explain my reasoning on MSTR? Yeah, MSTR is effectively just a Bitcoin ETF. So when Bitcoin vomits 5% yesterday, how in the world is MSTR up 5%? Spot Gamma code works, but not GexBot. Last time I tried and asked them out. Can we get some help, Matt? I guess I'll join the Discord and ask there. Just use the link. I don't know. I thought it worked. The code, if you use that link, it should work. Use the code Goonie. All my stuff is code Goonie. I don't think you necessarily have to become like despondent about it. You could always just DM me. MSTR could get margin called and blow up any day. It's possible, but Bitcoin would have to be quite a bit lower. Like we're not even in like really that danger zone quite yet. All right, watch for SPY to crack 593.85, and then watch for the Qs to crack 511.15. That's where the fun begins again. This is the structure I'd be watching. And this is a good real-time example of how you knew to not just randomly short it. Because we've all been there before where you're like, okay, I think I'm trading with trend and there's a little bit of a reversion in price. How do I know that I'm not too early? Well, this is why I'm saying you wait for that structural breakdown. So even if you were looking to re-enter short, at no point in this structure do we have the breakdown to play off of. Not even when we were here at 59.50 or even on this rejection. I guess you could have tried it and then your risk would have been the recent high, so you got like a small paper cut. But even in this, like we just haven't had the breakdown yet. So this is exactly why, beyond the concept of I'm just going to go long, I'm just going to go short, you have to actually wait for the price to develop, wait for the options to develop to give you that clear sign that you should or shouldn't be getting in. Because most of trading, it is not giving you the sign to get in. So even if you wanted to short this and piggyback on this run, at no point in this push yet have you gotten a real signal to like, okay, price is fading again. You haven't gotten the signal. You just haven't. So you just have to wait. You have to wait. You have to wait. And maybe it comes. Maybe it doesn't come. But it looks like we are kind of heading down to this trend line right now. Mag 7 still strong. Nasdaq still weak. SPY was very strong up until 1023. And it's slightly giving it back now. But obviously, I think it's going to more so relate to the snap down. Watch the 1018 low on the SPY. That's just below the closing value. And the 1018 low on the Qs is just below yesterday's low. Those key levels I would expect the market to react to. Right here, we're not really moving much. Dude, the Nasdaq is getting smashed all day. Remember, 80% off spot gamma and 65% off. If people really are having issues with the code, I'll reach out to the company and ask them what's going on. But I just want to double check that there really are these problems. Yeah. So remember, resistance, now that we're on the top side of it, don't be surprised if it turns into support. And I'd just be watching this. But clearly, ever since 1001, we've had higher highs and higher lows. So that was a clear market structure shift. We had lower highs and lower lows, a bear trend, transform into higher highs and higher lows, a bull trend. I like to identify the shorter term trend. I'm obviously on the 1 minute chart, but I don't take them all. It's not like I take all bear setups or all bull setups. I want to take the setup that's going to align with price right here. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Bearish, bearish, bearish. So I'm looking more for those bear trends. And then obviously I want it to align with the options flow, which Mag 7 is flattened out. Nasdaq is weak and the SPY is flattened out. So the faucet got turned off. So yeah, we're only an hour into the day and it looks like the move has already just kind of chilled out. The move has already chilled out. The faucet's been turned off. So you might just have to wait. The stock I found in on has an option close enough to values I need. It was $1.50. Yeah, so it's gonna have less expiration dates and less strikes if it's less popular. My chiropractor knows me well. Since my eyesight is not that great anymore either, it's a real fumble fest. You go to a blind chiropractor? Someone said Kamala Harris is the greatest. Maybe. But she did not win. I'm hearing rumors that apparently AOC and Kamala Harris are trying to put a ticket together for the next one, which would definitely be interesting. I think that would give us quite a bit of content to react to. Up 10K on my take profit. Do I turn it off? LOL. Follow your trading plan. If you're asking other people if you should be taking profit, I think you're already not trading properly. Check out the VIX. The VIX should be turning back up roughly about now. Yeah, kind of coming back up to 19. Yeah, like it puked from 1001 to 1024, which is the exact inverse movement of this. I think things get exciting if we take out 1930, 1950. I'd be watching that because most likely that VIX will be associated with us taking out these recent lows on both the SPY and the Qs. Bitcoin is trading at 85, hit 84.6. I think this is coming down to the mid 70s. I mean, this is on the daily chart, there's a clear technical breakdown. Is AOC old enough to run? To be president, all you have to do is be 35. I'm pretty, I would assume the same thing for the vice president. Matt, sorry, that probably made no sense. I explained I bought option strangles the low yesterday and sold on the open strangles, and it worked for months. Congrats. Might be, I don't know. I would have to study the analytics of that strategy. But just remember, because something works for, as you're saying, months, doesn't mean it's net profitable. It's hyper dependent on a lot of the market regimes you're in. And there's been much documentation about systems working and then they stop working and you have to develop a whole new system. So obviously, as you have the golden goose, yeah, make money. But when it stops working, you have to know if it's normal variance or if the system's actually breaking down. Remember, I've never heard of a single system in my life that just works forever, endlessly. Systems come and go, and it most likely relates to market regime changes. All right, we're starting to see a little bit of bearishness, a wee bit. I'm watching this low. Come on. The SPY's right at its closing value. The Q's potentially putting in a lower high on this 3-minute on both the SPY and the Q's. Coin, I need that to turn. MSTR, it's going to make me lose my hair. All right, NASDAQ, lowest delta reading of the day. Mag 7 flat, and then the SPY tilting a little bit. We do get this trend line breakdown. You know what? When in Rome. Oh, what date do I want to look at? Let's do this day. When in Rome. All right, I'm throwing out a degenerate order. We'll fucking see how this one goes. All right, I'm putting this in the Discord if you're there. I'm just trading on vibes at this point. It might be the Dayquil talking, but we're going to see how this one goes. Oh, brother. We're breaking this support. We broke the trend line at 10:30. We broke the support of yesterday's closing value at 10:33. Now we're coming up to the key options level at 9:50. If 9:50 doesn't hold, I'm looking for a flush to about 9:30. And then from there, we have key option support and the intraday low between 9:25 and 9:17. So target 1 right here, target 2 right here, and then generically target 3. And then really what I would like to happen is for that to all crater, and I want to see the test of the all-important level at 5,900. Now, will it happen the day before we have a big inflation report? I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. But what I can tell you is I love this setup. I love this trend line breakdown short setup. You have well-defined risk. You could be short at 64. You could be risking 78. If you're looking at the SPY, you could be short at 94.60. You're risking 96.50. You're praying for this breakdown to continue all the way to roughly 591-ish. It's a good risk-reward trade. Will this individual trade work out? I think so, but also it's no guarantee. All I could say is when you take minimal risk, higher reward with these types of setups, bearish, flow turning slightly down, NASDAQ flow absolutely horrible, and Mag 7, it's not bearish, but it's also not bullish. You have various things aligning. Now, would it be a better trade if the S&P 500 delta was really vomiting? Of course. If the S&P 500 complex delta looked like the NASDAQ, dude, I'd be tilting my entire account right now, but it just doesn't look like it. I still think it's a really good trade, and obviously I'm looking, I have the targets. Target 1, target 2, target 3. Of course, that's what I'm looking for. I like it, but the key here is I don't like it necessarily for how much the reward could be. I like it mostly because of how minimal the risk is. And I think that's an important distinction of quality of trades. The quality of the trades is the risk to reward ratio. You want to really always minimize your risk. Don't trade on your gut, moron, trade on vibes, brother. Matt Kohrs, probably. How did you know? Are you in my brain right now? Island Boy 699, could you stop spamming? You're kind of pissing off the people on Rumble. I mean, if you want, I could always just ban you if that's what you're after. If that's your goal, I am more than happy to help you meet your maker. More than happy. All right. So here's what we have. I have alerts set up on a legitimate reversion, and then I have alerts set up on new intraday high or lows. So reversionary alert, bullish reversion, or new intraday low. And then obviously I'm just tagging the most recent low on the SPY and the Qs to see if we're going to be getting some sort of continuation. Watching the VIX here, the VIX was picking up. Like I said, it got above 1930, 1950s where things get a little bit froggy here. Seems like it got a bit smacked there. The SPY is really getting stuck to its closing value from yesterday. Here's the NASDAQ, just made a fresh low. The MAG 7 is still flat. And then the S&P 500 was trending down, got a little bit of a pop. You could probably see it more cleanly on the 5-second chart here, but not much. I mean, it's just big pop, big drop, little bit of a reversion. Will the little reversion become a big reversion? I have no idea because it's all dependent on other trades that are about to come down the pipeline. So you just got to wait. You got to play these levels accordingly. This is exactly why this was target 1. If you took that short, yeah, target 1. That's something very reasonable you could scale out of. That's why that was target 1, because we know it's a key level. When you come into a key level, there's no model I know of, and there's no model that anyone knows of that can confidently tell you if you're going to break down or not. That's why this was target 1, because it was a key level. When you come to a key level, yeah, maybe you break and you vomit, maybe you bounce. And right now it looks like we are bouncing. And it's obviously right here. You could see the options market coming in, but that's why we have these key levels. That's where we're looking for the reactions. Speaking of that, we might be getting a little bit of a shoulder head shoulder. I guess he would have slanted shoulders, but we came right up to this. We popped, got rejected, created a clear neckline at a key level. If this bounce does not take out this recent high, if we start to fall back over, look for the snap of this neckline, because not only is that a technical development, but that also is a snap of the key options level. And then how do we know it's a key options level? Well, it's pretty goddamn evident. Right here in your face. If you are surprised that we reacted to this, I mean, GexBot is screaming in your face that this is a key level. There's no larger gamma level here. It's the biggest one. So when price bounces exactly at what, 59, 51, like right at this, no one should be surprised. No one should be surprised whatsoever. The question is it going to be able to hold? And that's going to be dependent on what the flow is, which is why I'd be watching this very, very closely. Because if we keep popping, yeah, I think that this holds. We put in a higher low. We take out 59.75. We maybe push up to 6,000. But on the flip side, if all of a sudden we see this delta start to break down, if this gets a little bit worse, see how we're just taking a bit of a hit here? If the hit gets worse and worse and worse, well, we might be cracking this. So and whether we bounce or break, I guess if I had to give the probability of who has the upper hand right now, I mean, the Nasdaq's just been selling all day. So I guess if the NASDAQ finally goes up, yeah, you might bounce. But the NASDAQ, since the get-go, the NASDAQ's just been slaughtered. The MAG 7 is bouncing, so that's a bit of bullishness in some of the most influential stocks. The SPY has now, the SPY is starting to tilt a little bit. We got a pop at right here, 1039.45. We started to turn south again in the delta, and look at what happened with price. Little bit of a hit. Obviously, we're very drilled in. We're on a super small time frame, but I'm just kind of illustrating to you that we have a wonky shoulder head shoulder. We're bouncing off of support. Well, we took out resistance, bounced off the support, went to the next resistance, got rejected, came back down to support, had an overreactive bounce, as in we bounced. Well, it was a little dramatic, if you're going to ask me. So I want to see this retest of yesterday's close, 5956, to see if that's support. Then I want to see a test of 5950. Maybe we do bounce. That's totally possible. It'll be dependent on what these option traders decide to do. I'm hoping for a breakdown because I think that's more fun. You're going to make more money in the down days than you are in the up days. I know that's probably a little bit converse to what you've been taught, but the way volatility expands, in a down market, it is far easier to make money on puts than it is to make money on calls in an up market, and that just has to do with the nature of volatility. Remember, options premium is part of the equation of what a premium is worth is based on volatility. Volatility expands when we are dropping. It contracts when we're going up. So like I said, if you're long puts and the market's dropping, you're going to make more money than if you're long calls and the market's going up. Island Boy, I'm obviously just going to ban you because you're a fuckwit. Sorry about that on Rumble. I try to give him a chance. I try to be nice here, but apparently he's just fucking retarded. So I gave him a warning. PDT. PDT sucks, but what you're going to want to do is either become a swing trader or trade another asset class that doesn't have PDT, like futures trading or crypto trading. And now price is just sideways. We're just waiting. Patience. Bearish. Yeah, I wouldn't be playing the upside. So even upon this breakout, would I like that trade? Not really, because it would be going against the overall trend. I'm a person who very much likes the more things to align, the better. So it obviously that might end up being a phenomenal trade, truly. But I would be very, very angry at myself if it's a breakout, I go long, it's a fake out, and it dumps anyway. Because then I'd be like, well, why'd you go long when all the EMAs were red? So like, just knowing how much I get frustrated at myself, I very, very much attempt, and I don't do this always, but I attempt to get the most things aligned on one side to be able to take the trade. I attempt, but we got a pop. We gave some back. We're now just chilling at yesterday's low. We've just now stalled out. Here's the VIX, MSTR. Is there anything that's actually having interesting movement right now? Nvidia puked, and now we're just going sideways. Look for the snap of 126. Broadcom puked, going sideways. Netflix puked, popping back. Palantir puked, going up. Meta puked, popping up. Tesla puked, had a bigger bounce. Puked all the way down, holy shit, to 282. ASML puked sideways. Microsoft puked sideways. Apple puked, bouncing up. Actually, this is probably what's giving the SPY and the Qs a little bit of life, is how much we're seeing a bounce in Apple right now. It's definitely not Nvidia. It's definitely not Microsoft. Rum, green, nice recovery. Amazon puked sideways. Like, everything's looking the same right now. Everything is looking the same right now. Texas Roadhouse is nice and green. Oil's at 70. You have gold taking a bit of a hit. Yeah, not much. You just have to wait. I think we're already caught up in the midday chop, which I know is weird to say because it's only 10:45, but liquidity has left the system. There's just not that many active trades going on right now. In fact, the only reason I think this is kind of holding up at a decent level is because of Apple. Apple has been noteworthy in how strong it's been relative to this like market, I guess, pandemonium. So watching Apple, if Apple turns below 240.63, this recent low, I bet that's when we get the SPY and the Qs puking. They're turning a little bit right now. The NASDAQ is still looking sick. The MAG 7 may be turning. Puke, pop, maybe turning. And then the SPY, let me just put up the 30-second. Puke, pop, mini puke, even smaller pop, sideways. It's indecisive. Indecisive. So I would just be watching these key levels, or if anything, if you're like kind of a what's it? Don chain box. Anyway, range bound. Look for the break and hold, look for the puke and hold. I think it's more likely that we puke in terms of probabilities, but still don't predict. I do think it's more likely, but I would still wait for the market to tell me, yeah, okay, that's actually what's happening. And really what I would want to see is this complex take a bit of a hit, because this delta is still holding up decently strong. I mean, the all expiration literally at 10:23 hit the highest delta reading of the day. This is the second highest reading of the day. So kind of tough to be betting against it when the delta is that strong, but you never know. You might see a big pop and things recover, or you might see a big drop. And I would assume that that's going to be associated with us taking out 59.50 if we do. But what I'm looking to play out is, as I said before, the oblong shoulder, head, shoulder. Weird shoulder, head, oblong shoulder, lower high, looking for this to snap. But it's, I mean, and I'm only saying that because I see how weak the NASDAQ is. The NASDAQ, how weird is this? That the S&P 500 complex basically just hit a new high. It hit the second highest reading of the day, but then the NASDAQ is hitting the lowest reading of the day. And then also the Mag 7, like it's very just, we're not all of these things are on the same page. No one really knows what the fuck's going on. So you have to wait for either the NASDAQ to bounce, Mag 7 to take off, and the SPY to continue higher, or the Mag 7 breaks down, the SPY breaks down, and everything's in alignment with the NASDAQ. You just got to wait for that. I think that latter case is more likely, just because I see 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bearish, 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bearish. But that's just a random guess. I wouldn't trade on that until I actually see it. And right now it's just chop sideways. Well, a little bit of a pop right there. It's a little bit, dude, just nothing's going on right now. The trades of the day were clearly this morning puke and then this morning recovery. The trade of the day was going short at 9.50 or going long at 10.10. Those were the two trades of the day. Since then, dog shit. I mean, you could have gone short here at 75 and played that back down. That was fine. But since then, we just don't have much going on. There's simply just not anything going on. Nothing going on. We're just waiting. Wait and wait. You got to wait for someone to do difference. The only difference is volatility tends to be increased when price is falling relative to when it's rising. Not necessarily that volatility can contract or expand regardless of whether the price is going up or down. Of course it could. Duh. When did I ever say it only goes up when it's going down? I've never ever said that's exclusively the rule. Trust me. I think after trading for a decade, I'm pretty confident with my understanding of volatility in the market. That's just an absolutely silly comment. Past 9 eval accounts on those moves this morning or this chop. If you pass 9 eval accounts in this chop, that's even more impressive than just normally passing. Yeah, we are definitely flatlining. You just got to wait. I mean, we have a pretty evident range that we're playing off of. Just connect this high to this low. That's the range we're playing. Just connect this high to this low. That's the range we're playing. We're stuck in no man's land. We're stuck in. How do you feel about Trader TV? I don't know anything about Trader TV, so I don't have any positive or negative feelings. I'm not really, I've heard of them, but I haven't really watched them, and I don't know if they're good traders or bad traders. So I guess my question is, do they post their track record? I'm much more willing to believe people if they post their track record. Because right now, this particular industry is very full of people who only post their wins and never talk about their losses, and they're magically always green every single day, never losing money on anything ever. And we just know that is like actually statistically impossible. But maybe they're great at trading, maybe they're horrible at trading. I really just don't know. I see them on YouTube, but I just don't know if they're good or not. Someone said this guy's a good trader. The jury's out. Once again, you can't arbitrarily say someone's good or bad without knowing their exact track record. They don't post anything. They only post their watch list on Twitter. That would be suspect in my mind. If they're prop firm traders, futures or stocks? I thought they were stock traders, but maybe they're prop stock traders. Or I guess I didn't. I thought they always traded stocks. They show their positions on the show, yeah, but do they post their track record? It's an equity prop firm. Do they commonly get payouts? Do they post proof of their payouts? They trade live. I watch them. Yeah, I mean anyone can trade live, but are they net profitable in the long term? That's the only question that matters when it comes to any trader is, are you net profitable in the long run? Not do you have a good trade here or a bad trade here? All that matters. All that matters is, are you net profitable in the long run? They don't show their sizes. Well, I mean, maybe that's a premium thing that you pay for and then they show it to you, but that still is a little suspect to me. Maybe they have like a paywall and that's where you could see all their positions and their sizing. Maybe that's how they do it, which I've heard of that before. But for it, not even for me, not even for Trader TV, for anyone commenting on how you should or shouldn't be trading, if they don't have proof of it, that should be a red flag. If they are not saying, yep, here's my trades, here's what I'm doing, here's my winning trades, here's my losing trades, if they're not transparent about it, that's clearly a red flag. And I'm saying that for myself. I'm saying that for Trader Live TV. I'm saying that for the entire industry, that you need to have a track record out there. Matt is my favorite type of trans. I do appreciate that. I do aspire to not only be the worst trading show, but I do aspire to simultaneously be your favorite trans. I want to be everyone's favorite trans. Lower high, potential breakdown coming in. NASDAQ still looks pretty heavy. Mag 7 turned slightly. The SPY maybe putting in a lower high. Look for this delta to take out the recent delta low at 1036. They're good for notifications and stock pops. They helped me make money before. Dude, I really, if you think about what you're actually saying, that's not good, because you could take a person who doesn't know anything about trading whatsoever, and at the start of every show, they flip a coin. And if it's heads, they're bullish. If it's if it's tails, it's bearish. If you do that enough, eventually you're going to have at least one data point that they made you money. That doesn't mean you're net profitable. Making money in a singular or a small amount of occurrences, and same thing with losing money, is not indicative with being a net profitable trader or a net losing trader. Those are wildly different things. Like I said, you could truly take a random person who has never heard of the stock market in their life, have them flip a coin, and eventually they're going to make you money. But because you have one piece of evidence that they made you money, that is not indicative. They might be massively profitable, or also they might be a massive loser, because remember, most of the market is normally distributed. It's about a 50-50 shot. So I'm saying that for like the Twitter space, just because some people once in a while show a winning trade, that doesn't really tell you anything about them. And I see this on Twitter all the time, of people posting like incredible gains and like, wait, like $100,000 trade. Well, for all you know, their last trade was a loss of $110,000. So remember, you want to look at it as like a whole picture, not just like one individual thing. That's what you have to do. And without having that data, you can't say anyone's good or bad. So for me, and like I said, I'm just speaking about anyone on Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, anything, Instagram, like whatever it is, unless you have access to their entire like trading history and what is or isn't going on, you cannot fairly comment on it. Like that's just like honest. Like you don't know if someone is net profitable or not unless you have the data. If you are basing your thoughts and opinions on if they're a good trader or not from like one success or failure, it truly just doesn't make sense. Is Warrior Trading full of crap? I don't know about his skill set, but I've heard some crazy negative rumors. But once again, it's a rumor. So maybe I don't want to speak out of school because maybe the rumor is not real. But I've heard some pretty negative things about their personal life. But once again, it's the internet. It's bullshit. It might not be real. So like, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to be a person spreading a lie. We're saving ourselves from disaster. We're right at that key level. Once again, Mag 7 is flat. NASDAQ bouncing off the lowest delta reading of the day. And then the SPY also getting a little bit of a bounce, but the delta's contracting. Lower highs, higher lows. Time to see which way this does or doesn't bounce. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute bearish. Mag 7, NASDAQ, SPY. 80% off spot gamma. 65% off GEX spot. We might be breaking down below this range, which would officially put in a lower high on the day. And we're looking for that vomit. We're looking for that vomit. Remember, if this doesn't hold, my first target would be right here, yesterday's low, 5932. And then really what I'd be looking at is roughly this 5-point region between 5925 and 5920 as my second target. So first target, target 1. Well, actually, if you went short here at 75, your target 1 was 59.50. If you're taking this breakdown trade, obviously your risk is this recent high. You're playing the breakdown, target 1, and then target 1 would be 5932. Target 2 would be the 5-point region between 5920, 5925, and then your reach target is 5900. I don't anticipate this happening today, but in the event that it does, and we do break down below 5900, there's a downside gap fill to 5872. So that would be like your super reach target. But obviously, as you go down the price, it becomes less and less probable, if that makes sense. I watched them after your show. It's entertaining. Who's they? We've now talked about other people. I assume Trader Live TV. I mean, if you're finding quality information from it, have at it. Like if you feel like not only if you feel like you're learning, if you're legitimately seeing positive results in your own trading from it, have at it. Or maybe even if you're not following the trades, but if you just like it for an entertainment value, have at it. Like I totally get that. Just some background music. You hear people, especially if there's like breaking news that you might want to know about and they know that they're covering it. Like I totally get that. That makes sense. Where the Qs broke down below this zone, the SPY's right at the bottom of this zone. So we're on the precipice of tilting. But the question is, will we come back from the abyss or are we actually going to break down? Is TMI still going? I don't know. That whole AMC group, I'm pretty sure, is just done because they didn't really know anything. And TMI, I have no issues with him. I think he's a fine guy and everything. But I'm saying that group, they learned about trading from AMC, so they had no knowledge to bring into the game. So there's a reason why all the AMC known people are done and they're all kind of gone and non-existent except for the Goonie community. And it's just by the pure luck that I knew about trading before AMC. While the other people were more of cheerleaders for the stock. And some of them were malicious and devious and caught lying. Others of them just didn't know what they were talking about, and their lack of knowledge ended up blowing out their accounts, and now they just have no money. They're not profitable. A blind man can see that. Who's not profitable? Top Step is okay if you like futures. Top Step is okay? Isn't the ongoing joke that Top Step is forever losing money? I thought that was the joke that the quote unquote house account is always losing money. I can honestly say this. I've never watched one of their shows, but from what I could see on the internet, I'm pretty sure the going joke is that they perpetually lose money and have no idea what they're doing. I thought that was the going joke. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's to the point that I've seen memes about it of like the best trade is to do the opposite of the Top Step account. I don't think any of those guys are like actual legitimate traders. TMI speaks well. And like I said, I like TMI. I guess the derogatory comments are a little bit more specific to like Trey, who was caught lying. I for all I know, TMI was legitimate and honest to the best of his ability the entire time. If I knew of something that was a lie, I would obviously let you know. But even short the VIX, I've never had an issue with him. I actually enjoyed him because he tried to approach the market in a little bit of a more of a quantified, like mathematical manner. And I always appreciated that. So it's just tough when you're, and I've even experienced this myself, is when your following is coming from like such a specific community, the AMC community, and then that community dies. It's really hard to sustain it. Really hard to sustain it. Boss Blunts is retarded. Actually retarded. What about beginning trader? Who the hell is beginning trader? Beginner trader. I've never heard of that guy. Might be awesome. Might suck. Judging from the name, it sounds like he hasn't really been around the block that many times, but maybe I'm just passing judgment. Maybe I shouldn't judge a book by its title, you know, but I've never heard of beginning trader. I've never heard of this Vincent guy either. Once again, just because I haven't heard of someone, they might be awesome. They might be horrible. I'm just letting, like, from the fact that I haven't heard of them, you shouldn't take a positive or a negative thing at all. Colin is a beast. No, he isn't. Meet Kevin definitely knows more. Stocks with Josh, haven't heard of him. Tory Trades, I've seen a little bit. Wait, am I getting the right one? Tory Trades. I think I know who Tory Trades is. Is that the brunette one or the blonde one? I know there's a couple women that are pretty popular in the prop space, but I think I might be confusing them. What about the Trading Fraternity, dude? I know of Trading Fraternity, but I don't watch them because the show is during my show. Traveling Trader. I've seen some of the videos, some of what I've seen. Okay, Tory Trades' uncle is... Okay, I do know who Tory Trades is. She's the swing trader on the futures market. She's put up some good numbers. I think she made like $200,000 last year. And this year, he... I think she's up. What about Keenan Grace? Depends. I think the recent content I saw from him was him trying to tell the world that XRP is good, so I disagree on that. But then there's other things he said that I do agree with. I don't know who TJR is. I don't know who Josh... You guys are saying a lot of people I've never heard of. Josh Waters, never heard of him. In the Money... Oh, he's the one that has the twin brother. Yeah, I obviously hope he gets better. Asking Matt Kohrs for the other YouTubers. The other YouTubers in the financial space that I consume the most, on a day-to-day, I will consume Meet Kevin and Tom Nash. I very much respect them. I think they know what they're talking about, and I appreciate their view because they're not active traders the way I am. So from them, I get insights of like the larger picture. When it comes to active trading, I don't really trust anyone beyond myself because I think a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So I consume Tom Nash and Meet Kevin to understand the grander picture. I will also, and that's on a comment basis. And then every so often, of course, I peek at Graham Stephan and Andre Jick's videos to see like what they're talking about, but they don't post daily. So I'll see what they're doing whenever they put videos out, if it's a subject matter that I'm interested in. So that's kind of how I do it. But for like day-to-day trading, I'm not going to take other people's opinions because I think other people's opinions are very, very commonly wrong. I think it only works if you find a person who views the market in the same way you do. Of course, if you find someone who views the market in a different way, of course you can learn from them. But for me, I find that it's just like, I don't know, it kind of knocks me off my game because then I have other people's words and thoughts like in my head. And I honestly think I would be a better trader if I took in not only no other media sources, but no news as well. I truly think if I just woke up and never paid attention to news and I didn't listen to lamestream media, if I listened to no other active traders, if I didn't read Twitter, I truly believe I would be a better trader if I literally just kept to myself. Jay Dunn over at Team Bolt? No. Are you guys talking about the funded family futures, the guys who were like ripping people off, Jay Dunn and Danny? I hope you're asking as a joke, but no, they're obviously pieces of shit. I mean, dude, they were caught doctoring photos. They were caught lying about their trades. I literally put them in the lowest category with ICT. I think not only are they lying pieces of shit, but I think they deserve to be in prison. I think they deserve to have a conversation with the SEC. Dude, they were promoting a prop firm and lying about it and then selling signals. The amount of violations that has to be is insane. No. Like, there's certain people I really enjoy. Andre, Tom, and Meet Kevin. There's people who a lot of you guys have listed who I simply just don't know and I can't pass judgment on. And then there's people who I do know who I think are absolute pieces of shit. ICT's one, Jay Dunn, Danny. Like, dude, they were caught lying. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, no, they don't even disagree that they were caught lying. It's the same thing with ICT. He knows he was caught lying. They're like at the lowest of the low. FX traders, I don't trade Forex, so I don't know any of the Forex people, so they might be awesome, they might not. But folks, I'm telling you, the easiest way to discern if someone knows what they're doing or not, or doesn't know, and hold me accountable to this, ask them for proof of their trades. Ask them for how they've been doing. Don't ask for a singular trade. Say, hey, have you been doing over the past week, month, year to date, something like that. Ask them for a legitimate time frame of trades and ask them to how they're doing. And if they are not willing to show you that right away, that should be a huge red flag. That's the easiest litmus test for you to know if you should actually pay attention to that person or not. For example, financial education, Jeremy, he's always showing his trades. He's always showing his account. That's transparency. And he's massively green because, surprise, surprise, Jeremy from financial education knows what he's doing. But whether it's a person I've heard about or not heard about, the easiest thing you can do is just say, hey, show me the history of your trades. Are you net profitable or not? It's a very, very easy question. And don't let them do that thing where they like cherry pick and be like, oh, this trade was good. No, ask them for the log. Ask them for their net P&L on the past week, the past month, the past year to date. Obviously, the more time, the better. So generally, like if you could get a month or year to date at this point, because that's a couple months, that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. You don't just never, ever base a trader off a singular trade. A good trade still might be a horrible trader. A bad trade might still be an amazing trader. Like, you cannot base it off an individual thing. Ask them for the whole, like, you got to get the whole picture. Tom, from Tasty Trade, that guy's an OG. He rocks. I've learned so much from him. Joseph Carlson, awesome. He's another top tier guy. He only puts out a video, like a podcast kind of thing, once a week. So I kind of put him at the tier of like, I don't consume him daily because he doesn't put out content daily. But Joseph Carlson, he's kind of like, in my mind, like Meet Kevin and Tom Nash, where I get a better understanding of the full picture. They're not active traders. And remember, active traders and like kind of investors and macro guys are like, they're just different things. So I like them and I think they know what they're talking about. But like Tom, Meet Kevin, and Joseph, they don't actively trade. They're not day to day looking at the option structure and playing gamma levels, Vanna levels, charm levels. And that's fine. Obviously you can make money doing both. But like, I would just say they're just not the same type of trader. I have no idea who Carmine is. I've never heard of that person. Wrench Capital is still definitely putting out videos. I haven't seen anything from Wrench in a while, but the last stuff I saw from Wrench, he was pretty solid. Nancy Pelosi. Awesome. Lance, well, he's a retired trader now, but he does quite a bit of education. Meet Kevin is def a trader. Not really. He's not really a day trader. He'll do swing trades, and he's made a killing on some swing trades. What happened with you and TTG? I just don't work with them anymore. New York Angelo, retard. He's as retarded as Boss Blunts. He's as retarded as ICT. Retarded as like Danny. Like actual fucking retard. Same thing with there's one other guy who's still trying to tell you that AMC is great. What's his name? The name will come to me. Pharma Bro, Martin Scarelli, you might not like him, but he makes a shitload of money. If you watch him on X, he just made a killing shorting meme coins, like in the cryptosphere. Henry James, yeah, he's also retarded. BAM investor retarded. Have you ever gotten a payout from Vanquish? Nope, but I'm this close. I'm hoping to do it this week. Zip Trader, I'm a fan of him. Lottery stocks, I have no clue idea who that is. AMC Bigham's retard. Tony De Niro, don't know who that is. Jedi Ant, never heard of him. Boss Buns, retard. Yeah, we have some smart people. We have some people I've never heard of, and we have some retards. I feel like this is a good spread of what we have going on here. A little bit of a fake out breakdown going on. You might want to watch this trend line. You might want to watch this trend line on the SPY and the Qs. We're kind of breaking it right now. A lot of things are flat. We're just in the midday chop. Mag 7 trending down a little bit. Recently got a bit of a pop. The NASDAQ hitting a low at 1054. A little bit of a pop in Delta, but the 0DT is still pretty brutal. The SPY, this is very interesting. So the SPY in longer duration just hit a fresh high, but the 0DT is not following suit. So for whatever's going on, people are buying longer duration calls and closing out longer duration puts, but they are not touching the 0DTE whatsoever. Kind of an interesting distinction, especially when the NASDAQ's hitting a fresh low on a 0DTE and just hit a fresh low not that many minutes ago on the longer duration. So the SPY in itself is giving you mixed signals, and the NASDAQ pretty brutal. The Mag 7 is telling you nothing. It put in a lower high, maybe a higher low. This is chop. The biggest thing I could say right now is obviously set alerts for breakouts and breakdowns. I would be setting an alert at the 1023 high. I'd be setting an alert at the 11 low. And then from there, I would just walk away and just wait, because we are very clearly in midday chop bullshit. You don't want to rush anything. You don't want to do anything too crazy. Wait for something legitimate to develop. Don't drive yourself crazy just watching paint dry. I'm telling you, set an alert for this breakout, set an alert for this breakdown. And if those alerts pop off, come back. If not, come back for whatever, 2 p.m. power hour or something like that. But just to sit here, I just don't want anyone to get I don't know, force themselves into trades that you shouldn't be in anyway. So I would just chill, set the alerts for the breakouts, for the breakdowns, and most likely just move on with your life. But overall, that's what I have for you. Obviously, if you want to sign up for Spot Gamma, 80% off. It's pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And then on GexBot, you could get 65% off. Those are the two options tracking tools I personally use. Overall, pretty solid day. Crushing it. We made 60K, so I'm stoked. That's a good Thursday in my book. What we'll be doing is we're going to be posting an update video later on today, and then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow. So if you want to join the Discord, I hope to see you there. The first month of Discord is free if you use that code Goonie when you're signing up on Locals. Locals is the account management processor, and in there you're going to see a giant button to join the Discord if you want to. That's what I have for you right now. I hope you made a shitload of money. I hope you make a shitload of money this afternoon. Be careful midday. There's not much going on. Respect your risk, stick to your trading plan. And remember, if you're trying to know if some content creator is worthwhile to follow or not, ask them for their trading history. And if they're unwilling to give you a detailed breakdown of their trading history, that should be a giant red flag. That's what I have for you. I'll catch you guys later. Love you all. Thanks for the good vibes. Peace.